Welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. The show where community comes first, leadership is amplified, and impact is the expectation, not the exception. Covering 12 thriving municipalities across Collin County, we spotlight the professionals, creatives, nonprofit leaders, and bold connectors who are shaping the future of North Texas. From McKinney to Melissa, from Plano to Prosper, from Frisco to Fairview. Each episode dives into the issues that matter most to our local business and civic communities. From leadership and entrepreneurship to education, economic growth, service, innovation, and the power of collaboration. If it impacts how we live, lead, or grow in Collin County, we talk about it. The Community Difference is powered by the Business Development Alliance and made possible by the Difference Media LLC. With a trusted team of co-hosts who live, work, and lead in the communities we serve, this show is built on collaboration and powered by people who care. Now, getting today's conversation started, your host, Poduska.
Well, good afternoon, Frisco, and welcome to the Community Difference, Collin County. We are a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Poduska. I'm the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments right here in Frisco and across the DFW area. If you've seen our show before, you know what we're about. If you haven't, I'm going to tell you right now. We put the spotlight on community leaders. And by community leaders, I mean one of 5 different types of folks. Business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, politicians, board members, those sorts of folks. ISD leadership, nonprofit leadership, and sports leadership. This happens to be the sports leadership section here today. In the past, if you've seen our show, you know that we have a rotating business topic of the month. If you saw our last show in June, you also know that the month of June is our special right here at the PGA of America headquarters, which is where we're broadcasting from right now. You can see it out in the back, and right behind us, the players are actually playing in the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. So this is our second episode here from the PGA of America. In the first episode in June, we focused on the actual tournament itself, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. And like I mentioned, it teed off at 7 a.m. today. It's going on currently as we sit here. It's going on right beyond these walls here. If you saw the first show, we interviewed Ashley Miller, who is the general chair of the tournament. And yep, there we go. Super involved Frisco community leader. So we were happy to have her on and share some of her insights and the journey along the last really 2 years of planning for this tournament. We also spent some time with Jason Mangle, who's the PGA of America Championship Director, and we talked some tournament logistics. So if you didn't see those shows, check out our webpage and you can go back and listen to how the tournament logistics are all set up and the challenges and fun that goes along with that. And then last week we spent some time with the world's #1 ranked 17-year-old named Luke Colton. He happens to be a Frisco resident and Wakeland High School student. So again, if you want to learn more about Luke and some of the reasons they moved to Frisco, which happen to be one of those main reasons is where we're sitting right now at the PGA of America headquarters, please check that episode out. And today we want to kind of bring it all together. We're going to dive into the story of the PGA of America and how it came to be right here in Frisco. So to that end, we have our special guest on. You can see him right here, Mr. David Ovard. He's going to share that story with us. We're going to peek behind the curtains and just learn about all the work and years it took to make this happen, and then how quickly it happened, which is pretty amazing.
It's a story.
So it was a long crawl and then a sprint, and here we are. So that's my summary of it. We're going to get into the details here in a little bit. But before we get there, what I want to do is make sure that we introduce our lovely co-host for today. So I've got some fun intros for them. So she can name that tune in 2 notes, took a tumble accepting an award, and believes the mountains are calling. But today, Bethany Rowan is all about PGA's impact on Frisco. As a local realtor with a sharp eye for what makes a community thrive, she's here to break down how golf, growth, and great margaritas are reshaping our city. Get ready for insight, laughs, and maybe a little Steve Harvey wisdom along the way.
I love it. I love it. Yes, hello, Bethany Rowan here with Rowan Realty Group, and I am so excited to be here today and excited to be with David to learn more about the PGA. It literally popped up in my backyard overnight where I was living here in Frisco, so it's exciting to learn about how this has all come to fruition and just to be a part of this today.
Awesome. Well, look forward to diving a little deeper into that as well. And so today's other co-host knows a thing or two about making waves, literally and figuratively. From being the lead singer of a teen band that opened for Reba McEntire at a goat cook-off, to pulling off a full four-turn roll off a jet ski, Debbie Watson brings bold energy to everything she does. As the owner and educator director of Abrakadoodle, she turns creative chaos into process art magic. She's all about planting her flag and never quitting, and today she's going to help us dive into how the PGA of America planted their flags, all 36 of them plus the par 3 course, right here in Frisco, Texas. So welcome, Debbie.
Oh, thank you, Brian. So excited. You know, we've already had a few conversations with David earlier, and he's a very unique man. I'm very excited to dive more into how this all came about.
Heck yeah. So we will get there eventually. Before we do, I'm also going to introduce the man behind the curtain who is not on camera right now, but may chime in. He doesn't want to be introduced, but I'm going to. So meet Lyndon Wilson, the man behind the Difference Media, and someone who literally risked it all. Like that one time he almost didn't make it down safely while skydiving.
Oh my gosh.
Lucky for us, he's here to break down the sky-high impact of the Women's PGA Championship landing in Frisco, safely, I might add. From sports to media to near-death experiences, Lyndon's got the game, the media company, and the stories to keep the discussion on point. What's up, Lyndon? Say hi.
Hey, man. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Very good. All right, and last but certainly not least, our special guest. I don't have any super entertaining things, so we'll have to tease that out of you, David. But I will say today's special guest is David Ovard. He's a proud Frisco resident, a lifelong golf enthusiast, even though he doesn't play very often, and a driving force behind bringing the PGA of America headquarters to Frisco. As a father of 2 collegiate golfers, David's passion for the game runs deep, both personally and professionally. His leadership and community impact were recently recognized with the honor of being named Frisco Style Magazine's 2025 Person of the Year. Join us as we dive into David's journey, his love for golf, and the legacy he's helping build in Frisco. David, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we couldn't be more excited, and you know, we've been broadcasting here, and I feel like we're kind of brought up residency here over the last several weeks. I know they're getting sick of seeing us around here.
Don't tell them.
You know, maybe if we stick around long enough, they'll put us in a closet somewhere. But we're excited to kind of wrap this whole month up with the story behind the PGA. So we're certainly going to weave that story here. But what I wanted to do is just kind of let the audience know and let us know, right, is you've been a long-time resident of Frisco, right?
Yes.
When did you move here?
We moved here in 2004.
04? Okay.
21 years.
Same as me.
Yep. So I'm not quite that. I'm 13 years, but so
there.
you've seen the Frisco grow from a tiny town of at that time probably about 40,000 residents.
Yeah, it was little.
So now we're 236,000 and growing on the daily.
Going
Yeah.
vertical.
Yeah.
Going vertical now.
So you've seen a lot. You've raised kids here. Tell us what you love most about Frisco.
Well, we moved here because of the quality of life that you can have with your family. The school district, you were getting as good or better than a private school education at a public school experience and price. And just the extreme quality of life. It was a place where we could get involved in the community and the city. It wasn't so big that you could, we went through Leadership Frisco. We went and met everybody at City Hall, the police, the fire, the mayor, the city manager, and it's still small enough that you can actually go and make a difference, like a real true difference.
Right.
And that drew us in, and that still exists today.
I noticed you didn't say best class ever after Leadership
I was
Frisco.
supposed to, and I'm gonna get a tough time. So my wife friend went through it too, and we're in different classes, so we're house divided.
So there's 2
best
best classes
class.
ever. Well, now there's 3.
Yeah.
I just graduated from the last one. And, that experience is awesome, and
It is.
it does allow you to get to every kind of nook and cranny of how the city operates.
And you
So-
really truly know how everything operates and who you can call and who you can talk to, and they're real people and they'll help you. Like it really is different than living in a place where you feel like you can't make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Do we need to take a commercial break?
We did.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break. On the backside of that, we're going to talk about what's going on in Collin County, and then we're going to dive into the story of how the PGA of America came to be in Frisco, Texas. Stick around.
The community difference, Collin County, is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Rowan with the Rowan Realty Group, Jax Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Abrakadoodle, and by Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel. The community difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's up, Collin County?
All right, welcome back. You heard it on the sounder there. We're going to talk about what's going on here in Collin County over the next several weeks. We're going to call out some things that you may have read about, some bigger name things, as well as some smaller things, events going on around town, networking events, fundraising events, those sorts of things. So with that, Debbie, I'm going to hand it over to you to talk about a few things going
Great.
on in Collin
Yeah, so there's two really big projects coming up in Collin County. One is the Prosper Art District. So it is going to be expanding for 35 acres in the northwest corner of the Dallas Toll and Prosper. It's about a $3 million project that they're doing. It's going to have hotels, a one sport theme, potentials for weddings. It's going to have multi-family units, beautiful landscapes, art sculptures, and everything like that. The phase has started. First phase has started and should be completed by phase 1 and 2 by 2026. And then in phase 3 and 4 around 2028, 29. Because it's actually going to even have more residentials and commercial. And then another big project is the Sunset Amphitheater in McKinney. This is a brand new, another $3 million, 20,000 seat, ultra luxe outdoor venue. It's going to go over 46 acres. It's going to be on the northeast corner of US 75 and 121. So the ground actually broke this week that they're starting, and completion is aimed for the third quarter in 2006. It's going to include 295 fire pit suites, an exclusive Aikman Club, because this is part of the partnership with Troy Aikman, a canopy roof for 4 full round shows, so those shows will go on, so it'll be a closing roof, and huge marking for parking and stuff like that. So the two big things that are going to be developing in our area, I think they're trying to compete with Frisco, trying to keep up. But you know, we're all Collin County and we love each other, and so we like that they're all growing to that that type atmosphere. And then just today is Juneteenth. So if you're looking for something to do tonight, there is a concert starting at 6 in Allen Park. Or if you'd rather go inside, there is a fashion show at Legacy Food Hall. Or if you want some gospel music at the Douglas Memorial at Plano, 6:30 to 8:30. So there are the few things that I have going on around.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. What I'm going to do, I'll let you go last. Yeah. So ladies first, but I'm going to jump in because the segue to your events that you want to talk about, it works out better that way. So David mentioned Leadership Frisco. So Leadership Frisco is accepting applications currently for the next class. Tomorrow is the last day to submit those applications. So if you want to get involved in the community and you have any inkling of, you know, learning more about the community, learning about how groups operate, the class is typically 25 to 30 people big, and they offer, you know, every class has an assignment, has a project. David, what was your class project? Do you recall?
Yeah, we raised buses and equipment for schools.
Okay,
So we did a lot for the schools and the school kids.
that's awesome. Yeah, and so similarly, we raised funds for the Frisco Education Foundation and made a perpetuity donation for that organization.
That's
So.
And you made us play dodgeball.
And,
Yes.
and we
Yes.
roped in,
It was
wait,
great till that.
that was the fundraising event, was a dodgeball event,
Yes.
and I forced a lot of people who didn't want to play into playing,
Yeah,
so
guilted. You
I
didn't
can
like
see
it.
that scar is still pretty fresh.
Exactly.
So anyway, if you want to get involved in Leadership Frisco, tomorrow, 5 p.m. is the deadline to apply for that. Go to friscochamber.com to find that application. Also, the City of Frisco and CoServe is hosting Freedom Fest, so 4th of July. Hard to believe is right around the corner. There are 2 days part of this festival for the City of Frisco. It kicks off at Kaleidoscope Park on July 3rd. Some of the activities there on July 3rd, Party in the USA 5K. So that's in the morning. In the evening, there's a Paws and Stripes. So there is a pet contest, a dachshund dash. So one of our other co-hosts, Jax, has a couple dachshunds. So Jax get PB&J involved in that. And then there's some other pet contests going on that day. They all benefit the Collin County Animal Services. I know it was a hot button in the elections here, so we don't have one here in Frisco, but we utilize the Collin County Animal Services as part of that effort. So go on out to Paws and Stripes at Kaleidoscope Park. There's a cornhole tournament, there's a drone show at 9 p.m. So all that is happening on July 3rd. On July 4th, all the festivities move over to Frisco Square. There's live music, a car show, kids activities, and then of course the fireworks show. So that is at Toyota Stadium. It's hosted by the City of Frisco, FC Dallas, and CoServe. And then I mentioned Kaleidoscope Park. I also want to just mention what's going on the regular at Kaleidoscope Park. So every Thursday night they have Live After 5. It's live music in the park, 6 to 8 p.m. at Kaleidoscope Park. There's free fitness classes every Saturday. Yoga is always at 9 a.m. And then at 10 a.m. they have rotating different programs to go to. They're all free, so get out there. You'll sweat. So that's if one of your goals is to lose some weight, you'll at least lose some water weight. They also have on Saturday mornings Saturday. That's where kids have a bunch of activities to do from 10 a.m. to noon every Saturday at Kaleidoscope Park. And then finally the Frisco Rotary Farmers Market every Saturday as well, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So those are all the things. Oh wait, one more thing to mention. This Saturday only at Kaleidoscope Park, it's called Make Music Fest. So it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. International Music Festival. It's free for all. There's live performances from a bunch of different ages, a bunch of different genres, and all different types of skill levels. So if you're into music at all, this Saturday, head over to Kaleidoscope Park and you can hear all of those different things. So that's what I have, and Bethany, I will now hand it over to you.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, so we like to focus on things in Collin County, so I'm going to jump on up to Salina. So if you are interested in taking your kiddos out to an event where they can stay cooled off, Salina is doing a Splash and Blast on the 28th from 5 to 9, and that is a big family fun event. If you want to go ahead and see some fireworks that evening before fighting the crowds on the 4th of July, go ahead and knock it out there in Salina on Saturday evening. I know that's going to be a fun event for all ages out there. So next thing, you guys know that part of the community difference is also our Business Development Alliance. We had an excellent meeting. It always happens on the 4th Wednesday of the month at the NAC Theater. Great meeting last time, great attendance, over 50 people were there learning about how the Salina Chamber and all of the area chambers, we had 8 chamber presidents there, learning about how they can help us with our small businesses. This time we're focusing on the EDCs. We want to learn from all the area EDCs what their communities are doing and how we can maybe get involved in our cities that way as well and learn from them. So that's going to be on the 25th, which is next Wednesday, starting at 11:30. I will give you a heads up. The NAC Theater is downtown where there's a lot of Frisco traffic right now, like there always is. So a little heads up to come just a little bit early to get through that construction. We'd love to see you there. And there will be a link sign up on our community difference page, and we'll get that out more. Last but not least, I am proud to talk about this event, which is coming up on Saturday evening. For those of you that don't know, I used to be the principal at Pink Elementary for many, many years. And our lovely, lovely Grace Tyler is going to be here. She actually graduated from Pink Elementary. I have nothing to do with her music career or her ability. I will take that. But there's going to be a great event here after Saturday's play. Closing the course down maybe around 6, just obviously depends on how the play goes for the day. And then opening back up, this is an event open to the entire community, so you don't need a ticket. You don't have to pay to be at the course for that day. Grace is going to be singing around 7:30ish. Food, fun, family, ice cream, all the fun things. And then after things really get dark in the evening, they're going to have an amazing drone show, so you don't want to miss that. And again, this is all free for the family, so we'd love to see you out here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
you just brought it full circle right back to where we're
PGA,
broadcasting
yep.
from, right here
Mm-hmm.
at PGA of America headquarters, and that event will be over there at the open area right by the big screen.
Yep.
So, thank you so much for that. I think that's all we have for What's Up. Do we need to take another commercial break?
Yes, we
That's
do.
what I figured. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do that right now. Take that commercial break, then we're gonna dive deep into David's story, as well as how the PGA of America got to be here and what it means to the future of Frisco. So stick around, we will be right back.
This summer, the community difference is stepping onto one of the biggest stages in sports. As we've been granted official media access to the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. This isn't just golf. This is excellence, dedication, precision, leadership. The same values that drive champions on the course are the ones that build championship communities. At the Community Difference, we're more than media. We're a movement. We don't just show up, we connect, engage, and highlight the people and places making an impact. From city halls to championship fairways, our mission stays the same. Shine the spotlight where it belongs, on the difference makers. Join us all month long in June as we celebrate the people, partners, and professionals who bring the PGA to life. Tune in June 5th and June 19th on our Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn channels as we interview and share the untold stories of what makes the PGA a true difference maker for Frisco, Collin County, and Denton County. Because for us, it's never just about the event, it's about the impact. From championship fairways to thriving cities, the Community Difference exists to connect, elevate, and inspire. The Community Difference, where champions of sport and champions of community come together.
All right, welcome back. And if you heard it before we jump to commercial, we're going to get into the meat of what today's episode is about, and really the culmination of this month here at the PGA of America headquarters. Again, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship is going on as we're broadcasting right now. So this is an awesome topic and an awesome guest to have on the show to kind of bring it all together. Introduced him earlier, Mr. David Ovard. Thanks again for spending some time with us today and just telling us your story and the story of the PGA.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, appreciate your time. Let's kick it off with your own story of how you and your family decided on Frisco. I know you mentioned earlier the school system was a draw, but what led you guys to settle down in Frisco?
Well, we were living in Dallas, and we were looking for a place where we wanted to raise our kids forever, our forever home. And the value that Frisco provided, the really top-notch education. George Purefoy, the city manager, used to always say, the school district drives everything else.
Yep.
And Ren, my wife, I know a lot of people. My wife knows everybody. And she came up and talked to the school district, learned about the curriculum, figured it out, and at that same time, our law firm had been doing demographic studies, knew that business was moving this way. And so we decided that we thought we could move into the community, make a real difference, our kids would get a world-class education, and it was just a great place for us to be.
Love it. That's awesome. Well, like most people, right, especially those of the family, the schools,
George
George was not wrong.
He was not wrong.
No.
The wisdom from on high, right? The school district drives everything else. He was right.
100%. Ladies?
Yeah, he was right about that, because that's what brought us here as well. I think we came back when Ovard was a dirt road, maybe.
So when we moved here, so our law firm said, so the city council actually knew that business was coming, and there were some solo practitioners, but there was not a sophisticated business practice. So they offered us some economic incentives to open up an office, move 12 attorneys up with all the staff, and if we bought houses, we got a little bit more because that puts more money into the community.
Sure.
And so, we have these discussions about economic incentives and the Economic Development Corporation, the Community Development Corporation. Those entities do so much more than people realize. So that brought us here. A bunch of us bought houses here, raised our kids here. We've been involved from the very beginning. I got involved in the YMCA. Everybody got involved in a local nonprofit, and we all hit the ground running to make it a better place because we viewed it as our place. And so, in my opinion, for whatever it's worth, I'm giving free advice, so take it for what it's worth. Those things, though, the economic impact of that, you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. You're never standing still. And so, I think that we here in Frisco have a forward mindset and to keep moving forward, but do it in a world-class way. Do it with a level of excellence, from education to the standard of living to the businesses you're recruiting. It's gonna happen. The development's coming. The growth is coming. Do you want to just let it happen, or do you want to do it in the best way possible?
Absolutely.
And we felt like we could get involved and help.
Yeah.
Now,
Love it.
who knows? But
You certainly helped.
a lot of people, but it wasn't just us, right? Like, Frisco has always been a can-do
Sure.
place, and a lot of people moved here and are involved, and it's an exciting, vibrant place to be. And that is one of the considerations for the PGA was they said this is a can-do place, and you can feel it when you come here. And so they actually encourage their people to come here and meet people because of the spirit of where we live.
Yeah.
And they said that was a big decision in them moving.
That's awesome.
But I know your boys play golf. So when did they start that love of golf?
Okay, so before the broadcast, we were talking about being pranksters. My sister, if you're watching, my sister's to blame. Because we would give each other's kids gag gifts. And my sister one day, I'd given my niece, a really annoying gift, really loud toy. So she gave our oldest son real metal golf clubs with golf balls and told him to go hit them in the backyard before I got home. So I came home and he's hitting balls against the fence. And so he went and took lessons, and I went to pick him up, and they said, hey, he's really good. And I thought, yeah, they're trying to sell me lessons. And so he started playing tournaments, and off we went. And then the younger one, because he saw his older brother playing, he's literally not known a day in his life without a golf club in his hand.
So, again, talking before the show, and I didn't realize this, but you had mentioned that you hardly play yourself.
I'm horrible. Now, but I tell people I'm really bad at golf because they expect me to be good because all of this and the kids and everything else. I have the clothes, I have the clubs. I'm just not very good. But I play fast and we have a great time.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Right? So I get invited back because we play fast and we have a great time.
Yeah, that's where it's at with golf.
That's right.
Okay, so we had, like I mentioned earlier, our last week we had an episode with Luke Colton, who's the #1 ranked 17-year-old in the world. Your boys, super competitive, also world class. I'll give you a little bit of proud dad moment. Tell us about your boys and what they're doing right now.
Oh, okay. So Dawson, our oldest one, played golf at SMU, was a world-class junior golfer and highly ranked All-American. I say that like it's not like
Right.
Like Luke is a fantastic world-class player, and we have that talent here, and we kind of start taking it for granted because we have that here. But Dawson played kind of the equivalent of the PGA Tour for juniors, like Luke does.
Yep.
You play the same tournaments at the same places, but you have to get in.
Yeah.
It's eat what you kill, so you have to be really good. So Dawson played golf at SMU. He's played pro golf for a couple of years, and then he just went into commercial real estate.
Oh, awesome.
He's a genius, like he's super smart, much smarter than I am. And he is in commercial real estate, and he loves that. And then Davis, the younger one, and we've had to deal with this for years being a competitive so it wasn't them playing against each other every week. Davis is playing at Baylor now.
Okay.
He's the defending North and South amateur champion, so there are several, there's like 5 amateur majors per year, and that one's at Pinehurst, and he leaves on Saturday to defend his championship at Pinehurst.
Exciting.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
So how much of a role did the boys golf bring to wanting to get the PGA here?
The boys' golf was the main impetus to this.
Really?
So they were passionate about it, and we all love our kids. We just want the best for our kids. So whatever you can do to help. And it was funny because around that time, we were trying to sort of plan out, okay, if they keep at this, where will they play? Where will they practice? How does that work? And along that time, a lifelong friend of mine who lived across the street from me growing up named Greg Williams had been considering to talk with the city about, hey, should we try to do something golf related for the kids, right? Because they have everything else. We don't have tennis and golf per se like they do the other things. What about golf for the kids and for seniors, right? And so he came and talked with me. He had planned some stuff out, was talking about that. Mark Harrison, who's the executive director of the Northern Texas PGA, was talking with the city about a golf park concept and what could that look like. And then Cameron McCormick, who's Jordan Spieth's coach, who coaches my kids, was talking about what would a new facility look like. He was trying to figure out where he was going to coach long term. And so all these folks kind of came to me and said, what do you think? What about this concept? What about that? And so we started working on it. And all it took was years of hard work. It really was something. The concept grew and grew into what you see today.
Okay.
So I have a question
Yeah.
for that then, because
Go for
you
it.
know, you take that and just a little bit of work, but when did you know that your vision was going to become a reality?
That's an interesting question. I always thought that it would happen. I always thought it would happen. There were days where it died and it was dead. Like it was really truly dead. It wasn't going to happen, and it was brutal. So the city will tell you, I think, that this is the hardest project we've ever put together in Frisco by a lot, and it was a lot. It was years of hard work and sleepless nights and stress and everything else. But my thought process was, and the others, like Will Sowell on the city council, Jason Dudley on the EDC, we would sit down, we talk about, this is good for everybody, so how does it not happen? Right, it's good for everybody, how does it not happen?
Right.
And so that kept us going. I would say probably a year and a half into it, I thought, this in some way, shape, or form, it can't be stopped, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
It took longer than that. But.
So, a couple questions from my perspective. So, it started with the dream of, okay, so basically, what can we do for our kids and maybe seniors and maybe ourselves, right, for enhancing golf in Frisco? How did the specific idea of, let's get the PGA of America to move?
So there's a lot to that. So we were talking about how to make a world-class golf place in Frisco for the kids and for the seniors, and for the kids with some seniors, right? Like everything is so kid-centric here, and we wanted our kids to have the best of the best. And we were talking about, and Cameron McCormick said, have you talked with the PGA of America? And I said, not yet, but we will. And he said, they're the business of golf. They're like whatever they do moves the needle. And he said, if you get them involved, then it'll happen for sure. And as it happened, so Mark Harrison here is the executive director of the Northern Texas PGA. The fellow that used to have that job had gone to the PGA of America and was their COO. And so he was very familiar. He had helped grow the program. So Jordan Spieth, Scotty Scheffler, Will Zalatoris, all these world-class players who have been #1 in the world came through that program. And it grew and grew and grew. And Darryl Kroll, who was the COO at the time, he was part of that. And so it made sense to him to look at it and to pay attention to it and to see what he could do. And he worked on it for years as well.
Okay, so then you got the PGA.
You just called them up.
Yeah, you realized. Yeah.
Actually, kind of, yeah. So you know, y'all well, no, you're from Texas, right? We just kind of think we can do things. And so
That's right.
Mark and I reached out. Mark did this thing. So Mark was the liaison to the PGA of America, and then I took the business end of it. And y'all, it was a lot. Like, so you got to realize they're in Florida. They've been in Florida for a long time. Everything there is PGA labeled, and they had all those relationships. But everything has a lifespan, and some of those relationships had dwindled some. We're the fastest growing place in the country, the best place in the country to travel from. 2 airports within equidistance of here,
Right.
a very easy trip. Lots of land, right? Lots of sports-centricness, if you will. And so they even asked, they said, so when we put the package together, there was a package offer and a package offer, and then we got to the real nitty gritty, and they said, I said, just tell us what it's gotta be, and we're gonna make it happen. And they told us, and we said yes, and they said, seriously? And we said yes, and they said, why? Why us? Why this, right? And we said, I said, because you mean more here. And I can't explain why, all I can tell you is, you mean more here. You will flourish here. This will be your home for the next 50 years at least. You'll be the biggest, hottest, coolest thing. Just, you gotta come.
Yeah.
And they looked at, you'll find this interesting. They went through a list of things, because they're a very conservative organization, which they should be, right? They've got 39,000 members to take care of. They listed off numerous things that they had passed on. And they said, you gotta understand, like, that's a big move. And I said, you're making a list of things that you regret not doing. This will be the biggest one you regret not doing. And they
Nice.
said,
awesome.
yeah, probably.
I like that. I like that sales tactic.
Yeah.
That was
It was,
awesome.
but it's true, like, you're sitting in the
It's
coolest
true.
building in the history
Right.
of sport, basically.
Absolutely.
With a major championship going on right behind these doors.
Right.
And so we have the seniors in 23, we have the women's now, we've got the men in 27. We're gonna run that cadence again. We have the juniors every year, and they're on TV. And then I'm telling you, we're getting the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Run that cadence again.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week. We gotta wait till
41?
41, yeah.
Yeah.
2041.
Davis told me, our youngest told me, he said, Dad, you're gonna be really old by then. I said, I will find a way.
I'm sitting here,
I'll find a
I
way.
know.
I'll wheel myself around that golf course.
You'll have your own golf cart.
Yeah.
God willing.
What would you say the biggest challenge, though, between the partnership between the city, PGA, private investors, developers, kind of how did you manage all that?
You know not what you asked. That was the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge was each party was used to getting sort of what they wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
It was everybody was the king of their own kingdom. And so the negotiations were difficult, really difficult. And it's a private-public partnership. And when everybody's putting in the amount of money that they put in, they want control, they want to have the say, which is perfectly reasonable. But everybody had to give up enough to get the deal done, which then returned more than what they were bargaining for.
Yeah.
And that's probably where the biggest sales effort had to happen, was if you're willing to give on this thing over here, which is important and big to you, I get it, but if you'll give that up, you're gonna get more back. And at the end of the day, we literally, George Purefoy, Jim Gandy, Ron Patterson, ended up saying, okay, we're gonna have a meeting, we're gonna sit in a room, everybody gets 2 people, everybody else leave, and we're gonna get this done, and it's gonna get done. And that's, I mean, it was
That's
tough,
awesome.
it was really
Yeah.
tough, but it would, like, someone's gonna make a movie, someone's gonna write a book,
Right.
like, it's gonna be a thing. It was pouring sweat, you're
Yeah.
nervous, you're like, what's going on? But it was, man, you've seen the result, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to be a fly on the wall, just in that room with those parties sitting together, and giving and getting.
Yeah.
That's
It-
awesome.
It's like the trauma response. It was really cool, but it was the toughest thing that I've ever done from a personal and professional perspective, and it was the hardest thing that I think any of the groups have done. But deservedly so. It deserved
Sure.
that
Right.
type of due diligence and attention and discussion. They did the right thing, but it was hard.
Yeah, I love that. Well, so what I'm going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Before we do, I just tease out the one thing that you said there. You mean more here. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And looking around and looking outside, it really does mean a lot around here. So
Yeah.
what we're going to do on the backside of this commercial break, we're going to get into what the PGA of America, being right here in Frisco, means to the future of Frisco and Collin County and beyond. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the show. We've got David Ovard here telling us some stories. You know, during commercial break, we get a little bit deeper on some of the fun stories. Those you can look up David and have offline, but we've learned the story of how the PGA has come to be in Frisco, and we're going to keep diving into that, and we're going to dive further into what it means for the future of Frisco as well as the Collin County and just the North Texas area in general. Bethany, I'm going to let you lead this part of the discussion for a moment. So,
I'd love to. Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. So before our last commercial break, you talked about that process and that negotiation deal being one of the hardest things you've ever been through. Tell us a little bit about what you learned. What's something you learned from that process?
My parents raised us, me and my sister, to have a never say you can't do something attitude. And I was dumb enough to believe it, that you could do anything you put your mind to, and it turned out to be true. So I think the biggest lesson was, and part of it was our kids learning that you really truly can do anything you put your mind to. If you really believe it, you really work at it, you really go after it, and you just don't stop.
Yeah.
And it's true. This is a unique place, and we have a lot of people that are go-getters, and I just really believe that if you didn't stop and you just kept after it, it would happen.
And just to dive a little bit deeper into that. Is there a personal story from your journey that brings you either to tears or brings a smile to your face?
Both. Tears, joy, laughter, all of it.
Craziness.
Roller coaster emotions. So one of the fun stories was this thing had to be really super confidential, right? Because everybody else tries to get it, and so confidentiality was key. So as we were working on the project, working on the golf courses, the designers or the architects, Gil and Bo, were working on all this. We would travel around the country, fly into airports, and we'd arrive at different times of the day, different doors to the room. Like, it was like, double top secret.
Yeah, James Bond kind
So
of
we'd
thing.
have these meetings and we'd all leave at different times and different doors and different planes and all that. So, but the kids, so Davis was little, like he was a little kid, and Dawson wasn't very old, and they knew about this stuff. They saw it coming in all the time, and they saw the plans. I'm like, guys, you can't say anything. You can't say anything. You can't say anything. And they didn't. Like, imagine a little kid and you these projects, right?
That's a big
And
secret.
Especially being avid golfers.
No,
right?
I mean, like, so
Oh.
Dawson gets a phone call one day. We're about a year and a half out, or something from it being done, getting announced. And he said, hey, this friend of mine called and said he heard rumors about PGA coming to Frisco. And Dawson says, yeah, I heard something about that. And the plans are sitting right over there. I bring him in, I lock him up in we have a closet in the home office, and we lock him up in there. And he said, yeah, it's not happening. So the kid would check in with him every few months, whatever. And so finally, start stop, and we're getting close to the city council, the EDC, and the CDC all approving it. So they do it all in the same day in a sequence. And so the weekend before, Dawson said, can I tell him? And I said, you can call him on Tuesday afternoon. So I said, by then, the word will start to be out.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
but Davis, being a little kid, never said a word
Wow.
to
That's amazing.
anybody.
It is.
And if you know Davis, he's a prankster. Like, for him to do that, that was a big deal. And I even thanked him afterwards, like, thank you. Yeah.
So they're going to be good poker players.
Yeah.
They've got a good poker face.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, so what I want to do is look at it going forward, right?
Yeah.
So we've gotten, and I've got a few other fun questions for you, but looking forward, right? In your mind, obviously we're here, right? And it's been, what, 3 years since, well, 2 since the senior PGA happened.
That's right.
So that was the first big official event. That really was the opening of the golf course, essentially, right?
That's right.
What do you see this whole thing around us right now, not just for the game of golf, but what does it do for the region and drilling down the city of Frisco and then obviously this surrounding area?
So that's a great question, because it's not just about the golf. So the facility is designed to have world-class golfers like what's happening today, this week. But it's also for everyday folks who don't even play golf to come up and hang out as a community. The layout of it encourages people to come up and hang out with their kids and their friends and their family. And it's really turned into that.
Right.
A lot of people bring up their little kids to kind of see if they like golf, but a lot of people just come up and hang out up here. So there's the district, there's the ice house, people come up, eat barbecue, have a drink, and just hang out and relax. Over at the resort, there's fire pits. It overlooks hundreds of acres of beautiful property. And so people just come up and hang out. And so it's designed to be kind of a community town center with golf at any level, basic beginner all the way up to the top pros. And that's, I think it's that.
Yeah.
I think it's been achieved.
I 100% agree, because my kids, unlike yours, they don't play golf. My son was a hockey player. My daughters were gymnasts, and my youngest is now a dancer over at Frisco High. None of them really play golf, but they all truly enjoyed going on the dance floor and putting around, right? And for last Father's Day, we played the swing, and we were able to get through there in an hour and a half, and they had a blast. And they don't golf. So the movie night on Friday nights, right? It's just, you hit the nail on the head that it's just an activity to do. Golf just happens to be part of it.
And you can use the cart path, the trail. It's actually a hike and bike trail. So people come up and jog on it, they ride their bikes, they walk their dogs. So you you have a world-class golf experience, you have a private club component, and you have the everyday anybody can use it component.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it really does touch every aspect of what it was designed to be a lot,
I agree.
but it turned out to be a lot.
Awesome. Well, what I want to do is, if we're able to do this, Lyndon, I'd love to play a clip from our interview with the Coltons last week. Really, this underscores the importance of the PGA of America to Frisco from a golf perspective, right? So the clip we're going to hear specific to golf, because you mentioned you're better off here for the PGA of America. They're shifting the focus from the older population to the newer growth population. Frisco obviously has that. Let's play that clip from the Coltons, if you don't mind, and it just kind of underscores that, the
We finally found the one. You ended up with an awesome house in Frisco here. Tell us about what the draw was for Frisco for your family in particular.
Yeah, sure. But I don't know if I can say this any more plainly. We moved to Frisco, Texas because of this facility here. So I had an opportunity, work for JJ Morgan for most of all of my career until recently, and had an opportunity to relocate from Chicago. And we had different satellite offices, so there were different options, like we're looking at Ohio, potentially Wilmington, Delaware, or Texas. And Luke and I, both being avid golfers, like Texas was kind of our first choice, right? But then as the more I researched it, then I realized, hey, the PGA of America is moving the headquarters to Frisco. So that kind of checked the box. And so the more I looked into that facility and the timing of it, initially was going to be right when Luke was starting high school, was when it was going to open. And so it just seemed to check all the boxes. And then, then we were looking at houses sort of in the area, but like Frisco was really, because of the draw of this facility and the ability for Luke, when he was going to be a high school golfer, to play and practice here.
Right here.
We had to move somewhere to Frisco, frankly.
Yeah, so we finally.
All right, welcome back. So we couldn't hear that here in the room, but essentially, David, the summary of that clip was, I asked the Coltons why they chose Frisco when they were looking at potentially relocating multiple different parts of the country, and then what drove them to Frisco, and the answer was pretty simple. It's this place right here. Obviously, that's the impact to high-level golfers, right? To have this crown jewel right here in Frisco, super important, obviously, for the city of Frisco from that perspective. But we touched on it, just the involvement of people in golf and those that may not have any experience to it until they get here, and then all of a sudden, like your boys, they got exposed to it, and who knew? And God-given talent, and it was uncovered.
Yeah.
So, I love hearing that story. Again, tying it all together. What I wanted to do, just a couple more questions, really on, because this project was so all-encompassing with all aspects of the city. Obviously, the city pulled, you were a ringleader of many with the city. For somebody who's looking to do something similar, right? Anybody who's potentially going through Leadership Frisco next year, those that have been through it, kind of understand now how just unique Frisco is, in that you get enough motivated, like-minded people, you can make stuff happen. And we have a saying on the podcast here, it's called MESH, M-E-S-H, make exceptional stuff happen.
I love it.
I use the other S word. Today I'm keeping it clean. So how does somebody get to be in the point where they can make it mesh on a massive visionary project like this?
It just takes work and effort. It does. You should just go to the people that know how to do it. So depending on what you're thinking about, go to the city and find out what issues there would be. Go to the EDC, go to Jason Ford at the EDC, talk with him. Go to the Community Development Corporation, talk with them, and have an open, candid dialogue with them about what you want to do, what the concept is, and then take their feedback and work with it. Everybody here, the city manager, talk with Wes, go and get their feedback and their input, their they're really good people and they want really excellent things to happen. So talk with them, they're open, and let them, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's, I think, where some people think they've got to start from scratch. Go explain it, talk with those people, get them involved, and they will shorten that runway for you so much and tell you what you can and can't do. And if they tell you you can't do something, question it a little bit, right? And see if you can find a way, get creative. It's really just more grit and sticking after it.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Love that.
Yeah.
What would you say that when you walk into the PGA, what's the proudest thing when you walk in?
I think the proudest thing is when I walk in, when I see the people outside living their lives and experiencing the place the way it was meant to be experienced. When you go out and you see a mom with a daughter, or parents with kids, or friends hanging out, having a drink, and just relaxing and enjoying the beautiful property, just seeing people enjoy it, I think is the biggest thing.
That's awesome.
And it's real. It's real. Like, you go out there and you'll see people just having a great time in a nature type environment, building relationships with each other. If it's family, friends, business, whatever it is, there are people here every day building relationships with each other. And I think that's the special sauce.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there too, as far as this being a community place for all people. I've been here numerous times, and I'm not a golfer.
Right, me too.
And I feel comfortable here.
Exactly.
I don't feel out.
And it was built for
outside
you
of it.
too,
Yes.
right? It
Yeah.
was built for you too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
totally.
exactly. So, and have felt.
Bethany, if you ask the people that play with me, they'll tell you I'm not a
You're
golfer.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, David, I know you're a busy man. We're going to let you off the hook. Once again, we just really appreciate the time that you've spent. Before we do let you off the hook, like I mentioned, we're going to ask you a few fun questions.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to start you off with a softball question
Okay,
first.
good. Thank you.
And ladies, I'll let you ask whatever you want. So we've got David here for just a couple more minutes. But so, question for you: is your bed made right now?
It is.
Was that done by you or by Ren?
Today?
I know it was the
It's
boys.
usually not. Today it was me.
All right.
So she had to be up here at 6:30 this morning. First shot was 7, and she's she's head of the volunteers out here, and so today it was me. You got me on a good day.
All right.
That is the right day to ask that question.
All right. You're already winning. All right. Another one of my favorites. Karaoke gun to your head. You can't say no. What's your go-to song?
Oh man.
Don't Stop Believing.
That's a really good one. Hotel California.
Okay.
Oh, yes,
I like it.
favorite
That's a
song.
classic.
Yes.
I love it. Ladies, do you have anything you want to ask? David?
I want to know what's the best prank you've ever done, since you are definitely known
That's,
for that.
you know, at least PG-13.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's the best one, but the one that I'm most proud of was the one I mentioned earlier. Giving my niece when she was young, it was a really
Most
loud
obnoxious.
Sesame Street driving game, and when you honk the horn, it would say "driving is fun." So my sister called me and yell it.
Yeah.
My sister called me and said, "Oh my God, listen!" And she holds the phone up and you hear, "Driving is fun. Driving is fun. Driving is fun." And she's like, "I hate you." That's the one I'm most proud of.
I love it. That's awesome.
Well, I know you've been married for a long time, so what is the secret to, because it sounds like both of you are very strong, independent people, so what is the secret?
Grit. No, we've been married for 27 years, together for 34. She's not an attorney, and so I think being best friends.
That's awesome.
I agree.
That's awesome.
Super cool.
I'm at 34 years as well. So.
The friendship, the really truly pulling for each other, and having an outlook that it's not all about you and what is best for the other person and your family. I think that carries the day. My dad used to say that love conquers everything, and we really probably should treat them better, everybody will treat each other better. And if you can take that and try to love somebody, take the good, leave the bad, you'll enjoy life a lot more and have a lot more fun.
Amen to that.
Yeah,
That's
great
awesome.
daddy.
Man, we just got smarter today.
I know.
I don't think we can do any better than that.
Yeah.
That is fantastic advice, and David, again, I just want to thank you so much for taking your time and sharing your wisdom, sharing that story and the history of how the PGA of America came to be. So thank you, sir, very much for being here.
We're glad you came.
Thank you.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Thank you very
honor
much.
to meet you. It was
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, with that, guys, this will wrap up our month at the PGA of America headquarters. What a fun ride it's been. Like I said, maybe we'll get a closet here, maybe we won't, but until you see us back here, it's been a fun ride. Special thanks to Nicole Mayberry for helping us set all this up. Thank you for this wonderful space, and look forward to bringing you some more fun information right here in Collin County. So take care and have a safe, fun weekend. Come on out to the PGA of America headquarters and have fun on Saturday night. Bye all. Bye-bye.
The Community Difference, Collin County was made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Rowan with the Rowan Realty Group, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Debbie Watson with Abrakadoodle, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference, Collin County. Together, we can make the difference.